Hey guys, so we're back and we're gonna make the best bread ever. It's called Japanese pong and you guys will love it, and it just has a couple steps. So the first thing we're gonna do is turn the stove on right here. So let me just turn it on. Oh, there she is. And then I'm just gonna leave that right there, and then we're gonna put this on there and we're gonna let the butter melt all the way. So as you can see, it's just starting to melt right now. Let's just cut it in half. So it, or not cut it in half. Okay, let's just leave it. So I've always loved butter because it just makes everything really taste good. And it basically just adds so much flavor to everything and any food. So we're just gonna let it melt a little bit. And just let it mix a little bit more to melt it. So just let it completely melt. Okay, now that it's completely melted, we're gonna add the milk. So let's add the milk right here. It's about half a liter of milk. Or half a cup, I mean. Okay, so now that the butter is melted, we're gonna add half a cup of milk. And get every last drop in there. We're not trying to waste anything. And then mix it. Once it's completely mixed, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Just add that in. And then we're going to mix the sugar inside this buttermilk mixture. And right now you're just trying to get the sugar completely dissolved in here. Adding the sugar inside here is going to make the rolls not very sweet, but just add like a nice flavor to it, so it's not going to be like salty and bitter. It's going to taste really good. Now that the sugar is melted, we're going to add a tiny little, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So we're just going to add that in there like that. And this is just going to give it a little bit of contrast and flavor because we just added the sugar, and it's just going to make it taste really amazing. So now it has to be lukewarm. So now it has to be lukewarm, and I'm just going to see if it is. And yes, it is lukewarm. So now that it's lukewarm, we're going to add the egg. So crack it, and it's going to be the whole egg. And I'm going to just mix the egg in there. So I originally got this recipe from my grandma, who always loved to make this, and she always made it, and it always just tasted super good. So we just want to share that recipe with you guys. So once the egg is incorporated into this mixture, we're going to add the yeast. So this is about 2 teaspoons of yeast, and we're going to add it to this mixture that is lukewarm and mix it in. And then once we mix it in, we're going to let the yeast be activated. So for that, we're going to leave it for about 1 minute. And this is just going to give the rise to the bread, so it's not going to be flat. Okay, now just let it rest for about 1 minute. Hey guys, so today we're gonna make pong bread, which is the best bread ever, and it's very simple and has just a couple steps in it, and it's gonna be the fluffiest, best bread you will ever taste in your life. So first thing we're gonna do is we have the stove right here, and we have to light the stove. So this is the hardest part. Oh, wait a second. I gotta do this. So turn on. Hold on. So now I'm going to remove the lid because it has been about 1 minute. And as you can see, the yeast has been activated a little bit. So now we're gonna move that mixture into this bigger bowl. Like that. And now we're going to add 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, but I'm also going to do this recipe again, and for an experiment I'm going to add 1.5 cup of whole grain flour to see the difference, but for this purpose we're just going to add all-purpose flour. So we're just going to mix it a little bit just to get the yeast to be more in there. Like that. And now we're going to add the flour in. So now that the flour is in there, we are going to incorporate this flour inside this mixture. And when you incorporate it, it's going to be very sticky. It's not going to be as liquidy, but it will be very sticky. But don't add any more flour to this mixture. Now that this has been completely mixed, I'm going to show you guys how sticky it is. So, do you see that? It's very sticky. So now we're just going to let this rest for 1 hour. So just leave it in here, close the lid like so. 4 plates. 4 plates. So we're just gonna leave it like that with the lid closed in a warm place. It's been exactly 1 hour and it's been sitting in a warm. So it's been exactly 1 hour and it's been sitting in a warm area. So I'm just gonna remove the covering right here. As you can see, it has basically more than doubled in size right here. So now what we're gonna do is remove the cap, take it out and look how much air it has. Like, whoa, that is crazy. So we're gonna deflate it and then knead it. So deflate this. Again, it's still supposed to be sticky. Do not add more flour to this. So knead this up. Like, so let's knead it here. And you want to get all the corners too, so not just leaving it there. As you can see, it's getting less sticky, so that's what we want. Perfecto. So basically we're going to knead it for about 1.5 to 2 minutes.
Until we get all the airs out, right?
Yes, ma'am. Slap it up. Knead it out. Now that it's been about 1.5 to 2 minutes, now we're just going to close the lid back up and let it rest again for 30 more minutes.
Yeah,
It's extremely soft, beautiful, and now we're just going to make it into a circle. So and now that it's a circle, we're going to divide it into 6. So first thing we're going to do is divide into half. So half. And then turn this half into...
Divide by 3. This.
So 1, 2, 3. So 1. So 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now we are going to roll this out.
Yeah, just put some. We can just put
Like
add
so.
some.
Yeah, use the flour that you have remaining so it's not as sticky.
You can put some more flour, it's sticking. Not on the top.
Like that. And then we're going to basically
make a note.
Make this. So first it's like this. Do that. And then you put this. And then you do that.
Yeah.
And just kind of make it into a circle like that. And there we go. That's our first one. Next, make it into a circle. Not a circle. What is this called?
Long strip.
Long strip of oval. And now that it's like that,
you can make it more longer. No, you need to do with both hands, Sean.
Like that?
No, holding but in the air.
Okay, now we're going to do the same thing we did last time. So you're going to do this, do that, add this, go under. So like that.
You can bring this little thing
Up.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's beautiful.
Add more flour. I can smell that it's sweet. Can you smell that it's sweet?
I don't know. Yeah, it has a very nice
Aroma.
Smell. Already, like.
Okay, now that it's long enough, we're going to do the same thing. So like this, and then take this, put it underneath it. Like that. Look how pretty that is.
Don't put close to each other because it's gonna again grow, like it's gonna
expand and you don't want it to touch. Another one. And another one. So these are going to be very, very fluffy and beautiful. So 1, 2, 3. This is a big one. Like that. So now we're going to take this and put some butter on top of it.
We're gonna put white part of the egg.
The white part of the egg.
And we're gonna leave it for another 30 minutes.
Without in the oven.
Yes, in the warm place, not in the oven.
Okay.